All right, hello and welcome everybody to our Monday evening team Zoom. I already played a great motivational video, which maybe I will post the link to. Actually, I will post the link to when I post the link to this call, so you guys know what I'm talking about. And as I mentioned, the reason I really chose that video because it reminds me of our special guest, who is really an incredible woman on our team, and it's such an honor to get to know her better and to get to work with her. She is actually, she's been an endurance athlete for 29 years, and that includes running mini marathons, ultra marathons. If you don't know what that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's when certain crazy people run 100 miles or more at a time. I'm sorry, did I say crazy? Incredibly fit people. In fact, I think our product B formulator, Bill Andrews, is an ultramarathoner. She's done 3 full-distance Ironman races while raising 3 healthy, happy kids. And her kids are also athletes, and they're a ton of fun. Stevie, Ellie, and Teddy. And you guys follow Margot on Instagram and or Facebook, because when you hear some of the things Teddy says, she'll share sometimes her little Teddyisms. Her kids are awesome. She's married to Steve Drake, and together they're building their isogenics business from home in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And their home is lovely. It's out of a magazine. Their yard is absolutely incredible as well. So when she does some of her lives from the yard, get to watch those because they're beautiful. She's on TV daily as the healthy lifestyle expert for the ABC, NBC affiliates in West Michigan. She's one of the newest elite athletes on Team Isogenics, which is so exciting. That's not very easy to do at all. And if you want to learn more about Margot and what she's up to, you can go to margotdrake.com, and she shares information there on a whole you, whole foods, whole home program. She is a vegan chef. She's very well known. And I actually met a lady in Arizona who's like, oh my gosh, you know Margot Drake? So yes, this is a big deal. So you can sign up to get her whole living newsletters. She's a 3-star Golden Circle, 1-star Crystal Executive with Isogenics. And as you all know, that means that she's helped a ton of people really transform their lives and feel their best. And she also is a beekeeper. And I've gotten the honor of receiving a jar of her incredible honey. So she's a woman of many, many talents. I love Margot's dedication. She's so driven. She's so athletic. She just is. I get tired sometimes just watching her Facebook, honestly. She's go, go, go all the time. And I love how dedicated she is, how available she is, and how fun she is. We got to spend some time together at dinner in Vegas, and it was an absolute blast. Now, I just spoke to her this weekend, or last week, and she mentioned a couple of little great nuggets that she learned at the Hairston event that she just attended. And they also got to present, she and Steve got to present at the ICU up in Toronto. So it's such an honor to have you with us. Get your notebooks ready. I've got a clean page ready to go, and I'm going to soak it all in. So I'll turn it over to you, Margot.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It truly is an honor to be here and to meet all of you. I've met a couple of you in person, but I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you better as I interact on the page a little bit more. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for inviting me. And one of the things that we learned at the Hairston training, after all of those really nice things that you said about me, is thank you, I accept that. Because so often when people give you nice compliments, say nice things to you, what is the first thing that you do?
We deflect.
You totally deflect it and say, oh, no, no. Well, I am telling you, lady, today I am just going to soak it all in. And the fact that I got to hear it twice is even better. And I don't think that is, I don't believe I believe that everything happens for a reason, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, I accept that. So good evening, VIP Business Training Leadership Group. I am, as Stephanie said, building our Isogenics business with my husband, Steve, and we just returned from this training, Rod Hairston's Top 50 training in Toronto. And honestly, I had no idea what to expect. All I did know is that Susan was telling me to go. That was number one. And number two, there were only going to be 50 people there. And that excited me because these people were going to be some of the top income earners in Susan's organization. And I thought, you know what, with only 50 people in the room, with Susan and Rod, it's going to be a pretty great event, right? So that's all I knew. And we went in, it was a 2-day event. And I don't want to assume that everybody on this call knows who Rod is. Some people may be new, so I just wanted to give you a little idea of who he is. And hold on 1 minute, I need to get my charger from somebody.
I think I saw Steve lurking around back there.
You did. Yeah, they're bringing it. So anyway, Rod Hairston is the mastermind behind our Isagenix Healthy Mind and Body program. If anybody on this call has done Rod's program or is currently doing Rod's program, take a second and say yes in the comment box, please. In the chat box. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it just lit up. I looked down for 2 seconds and it lit up. Good for you guys. Multiple times. Stephanie is a good student. Excellent. Everybody, and this is what I am telling my team from now on, everybody should always be on a healthy mind and body. Just like we should always be on a IsaBody challenge. IsaBody challenge, every 4 months you get $200 back. It keeps you accountable. And for healthy mind and body, you're always going to just be bringing yourself to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And I have to say, I completely failed my first healthy mind and body. And I didn't get it. I was wondering why they were asking the same question different ways over and over and over again. And now I get it. We are conditioning. It's just like lifting weights over and over and over again. You are conditioning your subconscious mind in rewriting your program, rewriting your internal program. So it's just so amazingly cool. And I'm doing Healthy Mind and Body again on just a totally different level. Just because I feel like I finally get it. And I'm really excited to update my internal operating system. Just like we update our computers and iPads and iPhones, we can absolutely update our internal operating system. So, said all that already. So who on this call is open to learning a few takeaways that from that training? Say yes in the text box, in the comment box, or in the group chat, please. You're open to learning some new ways of training. Say yes. Nobody? Come on. Yes, there we go. Way to go, Matt. Awesome. And who on this call is open to learning a strategy? This is really cool. Who here on the call is open to learning a specific strategy that will help you own the room at your next presentation? Say yes or I in the comment box. Marta is very polite. Yes, please. And when this works for you guys on the call, who is excited to teach it to your teams? Say yes. Awesome. Awesome. A bunch of healthy, happy, positive people. I love it. All right. So I'm going to start with some general takeaways. This first one blew my mind. We all talk about our vision, right? What's your vision? You've heard that if you've done Healthy Mind and Body, you've done work around that. We talk about it at Celebration and NYKO. What's your vision? What's your vision? Here's the thing. Some people will get stuck and say, I don't have a vision. Like, I'm so stuck, I don't have a vision. Here was a huge takeaway. Your current situation is a manifestation of your vision. You already have one. It may not be the one you want. That's the thing. How cool is that? I mean, it's not cool because if you're not where you want to be, it's not cool. But when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so right. Your current situation is a manifestation of your vision. We all have a vision already. We are living it every single day. So our objective is to consciously, and that is a subconscious or unconscious thought, that manifestation of a vision that maybe doesn't serve you, does not serve the person that you want to be. So the idea is to consciously, and do you guys remember the training where he had a group of people on the stage and one person was desire and one person was your conscious mind, right? Mm-hmm. And you guys probably only saw that once, right? Did you only see it once, that one time? That's the only time I saw it.
I saw it when he did originally, like before it was brought out to the field. So I've seen it, I think, 3 times now, and it blows my mind every time.
Okay, so when he did it on stage at Celebration or NYKO, which I think it was Celebration, I didn't completely get it. Again, it was new and, Celebration's crazy and I probably got distracted by a team member or something. But at this event, he did it again and I happened to be desire. So I was part of it and it made so much sense. You have desire whispering in the ear of your conscious mind. When desire whispers in your ear, you get excited. And Carolyn Rodriguez was emotion. So little Carolyn Rodriguez was latched onto the conscious mind, and I'm whispering in his ear. But after a while, emotion fades away, right? Just with anything, you leave Celebration, emotion fades away. And that doesn't serve us. When you have a traumatic incident, like a death in the family, it kind of serves us for emotion to fade away after a little bit. So that is just what happens. And that's why it's the saying is time heals. And it's because your emotion goes back to your subconscious and unconscious mind. That's where it lives. And so anyway, you can consciously recreate a vision for yourself. So you can create a new vision because the one you have, maybe you're not happy with right now. So you need to consciously create a new vision. Does that make sense to everyone? That was really, really powerful for me when he said, you already have a vision. It may not be a conscious vision, but you already have one and you're living it every single day. So, the second thing that he said, he said a lot because it was a 2-day training. But the second thing that I wanted to talk about that was a big takeaway was so many people are selling strategy. And even I said I was going to give you a strategy to own the room. And you need some strategies. But if we keep focusing on the next strategy and the next strategy and the next strategy without first focusing on your belief drives everything. And again, I think it's safe to say that your current belief is your current situation is a manifestation of your current belief system. So, and that's creating, your reality. So, first and foremost, you need to focus on your belief. And I have to be 100% transparent and say that for me, for some reason, is the most challenging part. I am very visual. So for me, consciously creating a new vision is easy for me. But just like today, my beliefs were challenged this morning. And I just struggle. I struggle with this belief piece of it. So, and that was really the major reason why we were all there, was belief in everything. And I think who does ABC 1, 2, 3? I'm totally blanking on his name. Always wears a suit coat.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Why am I blanking on his name? He lives in California. He lives in San Clemente. Who's ABC 1, 2, 3?
His husband, Jay Bennett.
Jay Bennett. Thank you. Whoever said that. Thank you so much. He talks so strongly about belief. If you've ever seen him speak, he talks very strongly about belief. Belief in the network marketing industry. That's huge. Otherwise, that is the first thing that someone is going to throw in your face. If you are not, 10 foot tall and bulletproof and completely believe in the network marketing industry, people have a radar, I swear to God, can pick it up in a second, and that will be the first thing that they throw back at you. So belief in our industry, belief in our company, belief in our products, and belief in yourself. Jay Bennett talks about that, and that was really what they were hoping was our major takeaway from this whole event, was belief. So Stephanie, if there's any further training that we can do in belief, that would be really helpful for all of us, including me. So help there.
Absolutely.
So you will see a lot of people selling strategy, and there's lots of books on strategy. But without the belief, the strategy is not going to go anywhere.
I'm just going to, Margot, we actually last week, we talked a lot about belief in self and confidence and posture. And that's another one. Like of the many beliefs that we need to develop, and James does some great training on this. He's been in the industry for years and years. For us, our product belief is easy because we actually get results, visible, physical, emotional results. And then belief in the company is easy because we have such a great history, strong sales, incredible, incomes, etc. But where most people fall that short is the belief in the industry and belief in the self, for sure. So that's a great suggestion to do more trainings in that.
And maybe because it's esoteric, it's not tangible. Maybe that's why I struggle with it, because I'm very visual. So you asked the question, did he say how to create a new conscious one, a new conscious vision?
Vision, yeah.
Well, you guys, I don't know if you've ever used the vision boards in Healthy Mind and Body. Have you ever used the vision boards there?
Yes.
Has anyone else? I didn't use them the first time I did Healthy Mind and Body. Yeah, Lauren hasn't. Marta, yes. Oh, good, Paul. So after that amazing talk at Celebration, the what is it? The Mechanic to Millionaire. Terrible with the names. My names, I didn't write them down. But after
Dave MacArthur.
He's Dave MacArthur.
Dave MacArthur, when he talked about his vision book. Do you guys remember that? His vision book, and he would go have his family stand in front of houses and he'd take a picture, and every morning he'd wake up and be so grateful that his family, oh, you did? Very cool. Okay, when we're done, you have to show. so Steve and I came home and we actually put a file, like I put a digital file together on my desktop and had my Isabody vision, had, home vision and things for the kids and all that kind of stuff. So I had these files and it made it really easy when I started Healthy Mind and Body this time to pull them in and use the vision boards. And the cool thing that I didn't realize was going to happen, I didn't know how they were going to be incorporated, is when you're working in Healthy Mind and Body and you're doing your conditioning every day, your vision board pictures are just flashing on the left. Like they'll come in for 5 seconds and fade away, and another one will randomly come in and fade away. I just think that's really powerful. And the first time I didn't use it, and this time I'm using it. And actually, we do the same thing in the top 50 integration, which I'll get to in a second. How are we doing on time, Stephanie?
Well, we got 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. We'll be fine. Okay. So, the next big takeaway was, as I mentioned before, we have the ability to update our operating system, rewrite our code. And so his point was, if your current results are incongruent or inconsistent with your desires, there are 3 ways to shape and change your beliefs. So I guess this is going to help us a little bit. Because your mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And we've heard that over and over and over again. But I think it's the conditioning piece that we don't do on a regular basis, so we don't end up rewriting our operating system. So the 3 ways to shape and change your beliefs, number 1 is peer group. So, and he was very clear to point out, we've often heard that the 5 people you hang around the most you are the average of those people. But he was very clear to say, it's the 5 people you listen to and whose opinions matter to you. Mm-hmm. That's number 1, peer group. Number 2 is conditioning. And number 3 is a significant emotional event. Those are all 3 ways to shape and change your beliefs. So when you look at that list, you'll see that your peer group is something that's in your control that you can change, right? Mm-hmm. Or improve. And your conditioning is something that is in your control. A significant emotional event, generally, we're not so much in control of that. I guess we can make those things happen, like maybe a big move, or maybe if you decide to, change your relationship status or something. But I really think your peer group and conditioning are the things that you can really things within your reach that you can do immediately. I mean, those are things that you can take immediate action on. I have given that suggestion. I have sought out women in my location, and one in particular in Grand Rapids that is just an amazing businesswoman who is so extremely successful. In fact, she's over in the UK right now, sealing the deal on expanding her current business. She's not in network marketing, but she's over in the UK expanding her business there. Interesting timing, right? But I sought her out this summer and I just said, let's get together. She is on my Isogenics team, thankfully, as a product user. But I just wanted to talk to her about how she built her success. How she did it. Just how did you do it? Where did you start? How did you get to where you are? And she said one of her mentors told her, there is going to be a time where you're going to need to get on a plane to go see your friends, because your peer group is going to change. So you will need to fly to them. And and she is just kicking butt in her industry. So and so now I need to find more people like that and get them on my team, right? And then the daily conditioning, which of course is healthy mind and body, and those stories that you tell yourself, those thoughts, those words. I find myself saying one thing, so I change it and I say another thing over and over and over again that will support me in where I'd like to go. I was over the weekend, I needed to help one of our cleansers with some isodelites because she ran out. So I met her at our cross country meet and I handed her the little bag full of her goodies. And I just said, hey, why did you decide to cleanse this weekend? And she said, because I'm gross and I'm fat. And I thought right there, this woman has got to do healthy mind and body, because that is that's her reality. And her reality is the way that it is because of her I am statements. Be so conscious of your I am statements. So I had her tell me I am fat. And then as I'm coming home from the gym tonight, I ran into one of my friends an acquaintance who I just found out has been dealing with cancer and chemotherapy. Last I knew, she was in the hospital, and I sent her a text message immediately. And I just said, cancer picked the wrong woman. Like, does it have any idea who you are? Because she's so opinionated and she's so stubborn. And I was like, well, you are going to kick cancer's ass. It chose the wrong person, but her reply to me was, cancer's kicking my ass. I'm tired. I've accepted it. And those were her text messages to me. So when I saw her tonight driving home, I pulled over and was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're walking. You're out walking. I never thought I'd see you out here. This is great. And I said, see, I told you, cancer picked the wrong woman. And then she went right into it again. It's almost like she's so stubborn and so opinionated on the side of cancer. And those were the words that were coming out of her mouth. And I just thought, oh my goodness, after this training, I can't listen to that. So anyway, be very, very cognizant of your I am statements and have them work for you, not against you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I catch myself all the time. It's going to take practice and it takes conditioning, just like we condition our body. And here's the other weird thing that kind of came up in the training. How many of us on this call have a sense of like, well, it's because it's in your identity that you'll move your body every day, right? Just like when Rod said at Celebration, who here went out and partied last night, and then who here got up and worked out this morning, and the whole place went bananas, right? Because it's our identity. Most of us, it's our identity that you're going to move your body every day, no matter what. And it's because that's our operating system. And how cool is this? Your emotion, which, like on those days where you don't feel like going, but you go anyway. Anyone relating to this? Laura, I see you nodding your head. Penny? You don't want to go, but you go anyway. Your emotion is telling you what? Yes or no? Right. Penny is shaking her head. Your emotion is telling you no, but your identity, your operating system is telling you yes. How powerful is that? So your operating system is overriding your emotion. So the objective is to override your emotion with your operating system on other things as well. Rewrite that operating system through conditioning. Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
It's awesome. Thank you.
when he said that at Celebration and he talked about that identity piece, that was the first time it really connected to me or for me. And you guys, if you've done Healthy Mind and Body, you all know the cycle of growth, right? So you have inception, where you're really excited, desire whispers in your ear, emotion is with your conscious mind. Then you actually do the work and you start going into deception. Now, who here can tell me when you're going through deception, when you actually consciously realize you're going through deception and you start pushing against it, what is it called? Instead of deception, it's called what?
I forgot.
I can't remember.
When you train and you push against weights, what is it called?
Resistance.
Yes. So when you consciously look at those challenges and those obstacles, when you're in deception, when you consciously realize this is deception and you push against them, they are resistance. And I choose resistance. I choose resistance because that means that you are acknowledging the cycle of growth and that you are using it to propel yourself into transformation. And then you go up transformation and into identity. But most people quit in deception and transformation because it's not their identity yet. Mm. And so I loved that analogy of using those obstacles, using those things. We came back from training and I was so fired up. We had a chance to present in Toronto. It meant a lot. It was a huge honor. I was ready because I'd been practicing my 30-second story because of that call with Jack. So fired up. We got home. I got sicker than a dog. My phone broke and my computer crapped out on me. Talk about like a triple whammy. But when you're uncomfortable and those things are happening, and I kept saying to because when you leave the top 50 event, you go into top 50 integration, which is 6 weeks of conditioning afterward. So that's what we're in right now. And I thought, really? Like my phone crapping out is a deception. And the more excited you are, it's like the harder you fall almost. So anyway, that's what I had to deal with last week. Sick for a week, no phone, had to push through it, figure it out, find a way. Healthy mind and body, that whole cycle of growth, when you learn it on our Healthy Mind and Body system, it's pretty much for like very general, and you think of it for our health, and you kind of think about it for our business too. But generally, I think most people are using it for their health and fitness. But you guys, that same model is there for the business too. And there are certain, you look at it for yourself for the business, or for leadership, I should say. You look at it for yourself, for your business, and you look at that same model for leadership. So you can understand where your people in your team are. And then there's certain ways to coach them every step of the way. So I don't want to give away too much of that, because that was, I feel like, Rod taking us to a whole nother level and kind of proprietary to what he's training in that top 50. All I can say is if Susan ever offers this again, go. It was very, very enlightening and game-changing. We got to put the principles into action and do the conditioning, but it's huge. And then now we're in this 6 week integration period. So we are doing the conditioning over and over again. Okay.
And Margot, I want to make sure we definitely have time to talk about that pre-framing stuff.
Yes. So that's what I'm going on to next. So I promised this, and this is very specific. And I have to pull up my notes on the computer. Okay. So what the idea is, when you are presenting, you want to get into alignment with your audience, right? So what I did at the beginning of the call was pre-framing. You're all here for a reason. You're all here. Stephanie promoted the call, talked about what you were going to learn. Obviously, you're here because you thought it was important and you didn't want to miss any of it. So I was aligning with you guys and painting a picture of what you could look forward to and get you excited and just kind of get you in direction. So when I said, who here is open to learning, blah, 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 right? That is called pre-framing the room. And you always, always, always want to do that because it engages the audience and it aligns them. You always want to get in alignment with the person that you're talking with. And Susan talks about that on her calls too. Just finding that common ground and getting aligned. So, for example, when we had our healthy happy hour over here last week, this group was very weight loss energy focused. So I said, who here is open to learning about a system that let's see, it was much more fluid last week. I didn't practice it in a week. Who here is open to learning about a different way of fueling your body to give you different results? Because what you're doing may not be working. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here tonight. And everyone was like, yes. They were like, God, pulling their hair out, obviously, because that's why they're there. They wanted to learn about it. And you want to handle the major objections. So major objections for us, and maybe they are for you too, is I want to chew my food, budget, and network marketing. So I said, who's here willing to learn something new because what you're doing probably isn't working, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Say I. That was handling the objection for I want to eat my food. Hey, you know what? You said you were opening to learning something new because what you're doing is not working. You're chewing your food and it's not working for you. So you're still going to be chewing food, but you're going to be adding something a little bit to that as well. And the second thing I said, who here is open to investing in a system that is going to give you the results that you're looking for? Who here is open to investing in a system that is going to give you the results that you're looking for? Say I or yes.
And Margot?
Yeah.
There are probably different ways to say this. And what I wrote as quick as I could when we had our brief talk, and I loved it. In the first part, if you're talking to like really health conscious people already, you said something a little different, which I also loved. It's who here is open to looking at a system that will complement, enhance your already healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
So for those of you, like I know, some of the Colorado people, they're all really health conscious and health nuts. Yes. And then the other one you said was reallocating funds that you're already spending. And I love that languaging.
Yep. So those can be the first, like substitutions for the first two, reallocating funds that you're already spending toward a system that's going to give you the results that you're looking for.
I love that, results you're looking for. Okay.
And then the last thing is, who here, when they get really excited about something that they have found that works, likes to share it with their friends, likes to tell people about it? Say I. And then everybody, and it wasn't that huge of a group. I mean, it was 10 people, but everyone was very vocal. It was like, yeah, a lot of head nodding. And then I said, well, that's exactly our story. And do you mind if I share my story with you? And then I just went right into my 30-second story. Steve went into his 30-second story. We hit play on the video and then answered questions. And it felt, you can tell the feeling of the room. It felt very good. We had multiple enrollments from that night. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 already. But just that whole idea of pre-framing objections. You always want to just get the objections out of the way and roll forward.
Margot, will you repeat that last one again? Who here is excited or gets just say that again?
Yeah. So, and I spoke in very general terms, like who here gets excited when they find something that really works and they like to share it with their friends, just like a great pair of jeans or a great restaurant or a great movie. Like who here, when you really love something, gets excited and tells their friends about it? We all do. That's the answer. But it's just telling them it's okay. And it's really just that simple. Invest, you use the products, you're good with the investment, and all you have to do is talk about it. We'll help you figure out the rest. So then we shared our stories, and again, we had practiced them, so they were very fluid. So that's called pre-framing. And reframing is something that you want to try to stay away from, because that means that you didn't really handle all the objections up front, and now you're kind of backpedaling. So then you've got to be really masterful in presenting something in a different way, so you kind of become in alignment with that person. So, like if there was someone, I guess, in the group that was there for performance, and I was like focusing more on weight loss or something, I would all of a sudden be reframing and kind of trying to get into alignment with that person. But that's what it's called, reframing, presenting something in a different way for further understanding and clarity. And then lastly, you want to deframe. And that is the takeaway. And it's addressing any resistance by removing the object of discussion, suggesting that it may, so it's deframing is 2 things. Number 1, it's the takeaway. So you just restate the obvious at the end of the meeting. And if you do feel resistance from someone, you can simply, like, it's so powerful. And who on this call has ever done this? Just saying, hey, you know what? This might not be the right fit for you right now. I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready, I will be here to help you. Has anyone done that before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if anyone ever just wants to start on shakes, or if they want to start on that 9-day cleanse, which is so painful and has a negative retention rate, I'll just say, you know what? Obviously I didn't handle, I'll think this, obviously I didn't handle the money part well enough for them. Either find a couple of people to rock this program with you, and then it will be affordable for you, or save your money and come see me. I'll follow up with you. I'm not going anywhere. I want you to have the results. I want you to have the best results. I think that's very powerful, because it shows, it tells them a lot of things. It tells them you're confident, you know your stuff, you've worked with enough people you're not desperate for a sale. Give people a chance to want it or fight for it. That's it. And that's deframing. That pre-framing, though, was pretty powerful. It felt really good, you guys. It felt really good.
I absolutely love that. And you know what? You could totally adapt that to a one-on-one meeting even. you know, you obviously wouldn't say how many of you or who
Would
here.
you agree?
Yeah. Are you, you know, are we meeting? Like, I assume we're meeting because you're open to, are you open? And you could go through, make it conversational more so than you would in the front of a room. But I love that because you are, you know, you're addressing the stuff we normally address at the end of a presentation right up front.
Right.
So it totally sets it up. And I know we're just past the top of the hour, but I definitely found great value in this. And I would love for everyone to share takeaways and questions as we always end our calls. And I hope this is the first of many that you'll be joining us on, Margot.
I'll go. I mean, everything was amazing, but that pre-framing, I just feel like just kind of opens the door and allows you to be like, you know what I mean? You're just kind of getting it out there, but in a totally different way where it's not, where it's comfortable. And it just, the way it's all stated, I think is just awesome. And I think that's going to help really with posture too. Because especially if you practice it a lot, but you're going to, I don't know, it just really fits and makes sense the way it's all set up, and to start the meeting like that. Because sometimes when I'll start meetings, there's that tension, like you're nervous and you're not sure what people are thinking. And, you know, you just kind of feel all these different vibes. And I feel like this is just going to kind of eliminate it and really get them excited. And even for them, just be like, this is going to be awesome.
I think you do. You can feel the tension in the room. You can feel the vibe of the room, and it felt so comfortable. And because we addressed sharing up front and that it's not a big deal, there was so much talk about sharing and referral rebates, and everyone was just like very open about it. So I can't wait for you guys to use it, and then let me know how it goes.
That's fantastic.
I'll go.
Penny.
Thank
you, Lauren.
Yeah, I agree with everything Lauren shared about that part of it. Was amazing. And I really also like the part about the vision. If you've got a vision, it's what you see in your life right now. And I've been doing a lot of focus on belief, and have become absolutely convinced that that is where it's all coming back to. And if you want to know what you believe, look at what is happening. And it just reiterated that it's not a waste of time, that I'm focusing on that right now. Mm-hmm. Adding that, and just, I love the way you phrased that as far as the conditioning. Like if you're conditioning for a race or for something else, it's daily, and it's throughout the day. It's not just one time a day, it's constant of just reprogramming, reconditioning. And so it was, that was just really, really good. So
good. I'm so happy that spoke to you. That piece really spoke to me too, because it is like a non-negotiable that I go to the gym every day. But until recently, personal development was like, oh, yay, I did my personal development. You know, I can check that box off for the day. It wasn't a non-negotiable. And all day when I'm talking to myself out loud, if I think something in my head that's not right, I'll verbalize it out loud the way that I want it to be too. Yes. You're right. It has to be all day. It's
not just even there.
Huh?
Yeah. But it's the same part of reframing, like you talked about in the meeting, reframing it with us as well. So, yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thanks very much, Margot. I want to thank you very much for this presentation. I had the same reaction. As I think one of the things that I'm working on right now is just belief in the industry. It's still something I still work on in terms of getting my posture and my confidence up. So I really want to thank you for the pre-framing, because it does sort of, I felt like it takes the awkwardness out of it. You know, makes it less awkward, and just it gives you a positive, confident posture. And if you could just once again, just give me what the reframing definition was again, presenting something in a different way. I think you mentioned something else there.
Yeah. So when you have to reframe, like something comes up that you didn't already handle, then you kind of have to backpedal a little bit. So it's reframing isn't really what you want to do. You'd rather pre-frame and deframe without like being so good at those two things that you don't have to reframe. But every once in a while, you're going to have to restate something so you do end up getting in alignment with that person, because if you have to reframe something, you're not in alignment with that person yet. But
Gotcha.
you have to consciously be aware of that and then try to navigate your way to that alignment.
Great.
And so do you believe in the industry, or do you still struggle with that piece? Or is it just not something that you can articulate yet?
It's not something I can articulate well yet, I think, and it is growing. I know where I started from. This is my first time doing network marketing, my first company, Isogenics, so in my home company. This is home. So it's just something that I think it's just a work in progress, getting it from like, say, I started off with like a 3 or a 2 kind of thing to getting it to an 8, 9, and 10, right? So does that make sense?
I was right there with you. When I was handed the Isogenics catalog, I took like 10 steps, like in my head, 10 steps back from the person that handed it to me. And I thought, and I'm not kidding, every cell in my body was like, whoa, what is this? This is one of those things. And, it's really interesting. And most of the people on this call have been in the industry for a while. So I'm sure you don't get the network marketing objective, or you don't even consciously consider it anymore because you can so fluidly navigate around it, right? Mm-hmm. Is it, Penny and Laura, do you guys agree?
I feel,
not as much.
I feel that when you're rock solid, it doesn't come up.
It does not come up.
Any objection, same with the social security number, same with the president's pack, whatever we're rock solid in doesn't come up. Otherwise we keep bringing it up. And you know why I believe that energetically we get those objections, because we're harboring a lack of belief in that area, is that because that's the only way we're going to build our own belief is to overcome it. So it's almost like, look at it as an opportunity for yourself to practice building that belief in yourself. So if it comes up, and I've gotten so good now at the question, and it just came up recently. Somebody asked me, is it one of those pyramid things? And I said, what do you mean by that? Well, where you get to put people under you and they're your team and you work together. Is it like that? So don't be afraid of those questions, and remember that really, what do you mean by that question? Because it's not always, the question isn't always what we assume it to be from our lack of belief.
So what you just said was that use it as your resistance to get through that deception, so you can go into transformation and then identity, right?
There you go.
And I remember being in Chicago and asking Lori Harder that question. I think she had been in the business like 2 years or something. And she said, I don't get that question anymore. And I was like, are you serious? I get that question all the time. And just like you said, social security number, president's pack, when you believe that you're setting someone's account up for them the right way from the beginning, they're going to get the best results with the president's pack.
Yep.
It happens.
It happens, right? Yeah. Law of attraction is really big. It's a huge thing. That whole drawing that into you. I agree.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Margot.
You're welcome, you guys. This was really fun.
We'll take one more, and then I'm going to stop recording. And if anybody wants to stay on, I'll show you my brand new little vision board thing I just learned. That's really cool to set up, and I've started. Anyway, James, I saw your arm go up.
Yeah, thanks, Margot. I really appreciate this. I'm I'm 30 days into a 40-day mind training, and it really is all about that. I mean, we did a couple of pre-days before it started, and one of the things was to write down your, current belief system, and then on another page write down the new belief system. All the amazing, wonderful things that you want to be. And, it was amazing writing down some of that, just the beliefs that roll around in my head and the stuff that I say to myself. And I've been doing this work for a really, really long time, and there's still a lot of crap in there, right? So I think we can't be too diligent about watching our thoughts, because our thoughts are what we become and what we're doing. And so, I just love that idea of setting up who we really want to be, what our vision is of who we are and what we're creating, and then doing what it takes to make that happen. That's
the key. That's the key right there, because it's easy. You know what? It's inception when you are casting that vision for yourself, but doing the work is the part that is the hard part.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a Teddyism after what you said. He said, we all need to be our own thought doctor.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
Ooh,
Excellent.
That's awesome.
A thought doctor.
I love it. All right, I'm going to take us out of recording mode. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, you guys. It was really fun to be here.
Thank you, Margot.
Have you?
Thanks, Stephanie, for making this possible. It's great. It was